Hey, what's happening, Nerdtopia? This is Doolin Dalton.
Steve Wareham.
And we're about to get down and nerdy.
Can someone go ahead and kill that, please? Just stop the track.
Nerdtopia, yo, and we got a fucking podcast. Cruising in the speeder, bullseye, and flipping womp-rats. Comics, video games, movies, real-life superheroes is what you can expect if you're wired to be weirdo. So we welcome all the newbies and the groupies, flashing boobies in the movies without cooties. In the show, it's got you drooling with this comedy, no fooling. Now presenting you your host is Steve and Doolin. Word, NerdtopiaCast.blogspot.com, Facebook.com/NerdtopiaCast, also YouTube and podcast. 38 seconds.
What's up, man? How you doing this week?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm better. I got some kind of evil death flu.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, when you get sick, it's not like when you get older. I think when you're a kid, you have the luxury of getting coughs and colds and stuff.
Right.
But when you get old, it's like there's no in between. It's either I'm well or I'm about to die. So
let me ask you this: did you get bitten by a strange homeless person?
What does that have to do with anything?
Or I just wanted to ask if you got bitten by a strange person anytime over the past week, and if I'm going to need to put you down or not.
Yes. You should take me behind the barn. No, it's...
Erica, get out of the house. If you're listening to this, kill him and get out. There's no part of your husband left.
It's not safe. No, it was actually...
I saw somebody had a T-shirt they were wearing, and there's like a big fake blood stain like on the side of it, and then the front of it, it's written, "No, really, it's just a bite. I'm fine."
Yeah. It was actually I've got terrible sinuses, and it was a sinus infection, which and I don't mind sharing this. I have a slight panic attack disorder, as in when I have panic attacks, like they damn near kill me, and I don't have them real often, but when I have them, it's rough, and so yeah. the sinus stuff messed with my breathing, and through that, you know, and then I not only had to deal with being sick and being on medication all week, but I had like a World War III panic attack. So this is like I went to bed on Monday and woke up again on another Monday. So I missed all of last week.
Fair enough. Well, you didn't miss much, man. And whatever you did miss, I'll catch you up on here during our show day.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Exactly. And this is kind of cool, man. Like, this has kind of become the highlight of my week. I look forward to it. And also, you know, it's just kind of a way for you and me to catch up because, you know, we're dudes and we don't talk on the phone very much. So
right.
Like, hey, I want a reason to talk to my friend, but I don't want to call him on the phone because that would be gay. Yeah,
you don't want to be like, hey, you know, men are very, you know, men
what
are very...
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, you don't have those conversations. Like, what do you think about? What do I care what you're thinking about? I'm in the middle of something, you know.
What do you want? You called me. I just wanted to call.
There's a Family Guy episode where Peter, I think, gets some kind of estrogen or something in him and becomes like a woman, and he calls Quagmire, "What you doing?" Quagmire's like, "Talking to you on the phone."
Yeah, exactly. So this has become fun, man. So we're rolling out with episode 2, man. Oh, dude, before we get started, I gotta ask you, man, are you headed out to see Avengers this weekend, or are you gonna wait?
I don't know. I don't. I hate going to watch movies with big giant crowds. I have to work.
Ooh, but I might brave it for this one, man.
Yeah, me too. Well, we've decided that we're gonna make it IMAX 3D. So we've got...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going the whole shebang.
I've never seen an IMAX movie, and I've never seen one in 3D. So I figured if there was one to watch, this would be it. So we're gonna... That's what our plan is, and I don't want to do that with 9 million people around me. But I heard it's unbelievable from everyone who's seen it.
Our friends over in the UK have very graciously kept their mouths as quiet as they possibly could.
Yeah.
To not give away. Although, and I won't ruin it, like somebody had put up a link today, and I clicked on it and I read it. It was kind of like a funny Avengers Facebook, like if Avengers were on Facebook kind of thing. And I'm reading, I'm like, oh, this is funny. And I got hit with a huge fucking spoiler.
I think I know. Does it have to do with the ending credits spoiler?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No.
There's a.
Because the one that I finally read, when I finally saw the spoiler, I clicked it out. I'm like, fuck!
Yeah.
And then they were so adamant. I was like, hey, spoilers, asshole. And they're like, there's no spoilers. I'm like, yes, there fucking are!
Yeah. There's don't look at it again because there is a pretty big spoiler in there that relates to the ending credits, which is what was ruined for me. But if that's really what happens, the ending credits, I will lose my damn mind. So yeah, I'm
speculating, and when I say this, I'm speculating, and I have no idea. I've not read any spoilers, but what I'm hoping to see in the big giveaway is that they throw in Spider-Man, like kind of towards the end there.
I haven't heard that.
I've got my fingers crossed.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
if they tied it in.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but this and Batman for me are 1 and 1A, and I haven't decided which one is which, but I'll tell you what, the Avengers hype machine, and Batman's going to have to do some work to keep up with the Avengers hype machine, because this movie is getting really, really, really well reviewed.
Oh, did you know this? I know we had talked earlier about whether or not Avengers was going to beat Hunger Games opening weekend. It already did in the UK.
It beat the UK's numbers, or it beat the entire.
Well, it beat America's numbers. I don't know what UK made in the Hunger Games, but it definitely beat America's numbers. So I'm willing to bet that it blows Hunger Games out of the water opening weekend by like at least $20 million.
What's the box? Who has a box office record right now? Dark Knight.
Just like. Overall,
opening weekend.
Opening weekend. I think it's Dark Knight is number 2 for opening weekend, and I cannot remember.
Maybe one of the Spider-Mans or.
Number 1 was. I think it might have been Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows.
Okay, my prediction is this movie will blow away every box office record. I mean, this is and it's going to get some competition in Batman, but I think if you go. I mean, if you're thinking of like the average kind of theater goer, they're going to go watch this thing first because it comes out first, and then they're going to go see Batman if they have the time. So I just see this as having more commercial appeal, but you never know. I mean, I'm a huge Nolan Batman fan, so
right.
You can't that's like I said, 1 and 1A to me. I don't know who's going to beat each other out, but I know Avengers is going to smash some records.
Yeah. Do you think should we? Maybe next week on NerdtopiaCast, if we've both seen the movie, you want to like maybe throw a little review out there, or you think we should wait on that to make sure that everybody's
no, I don't want to. Yeah, but I mean, I think the review, if you listen to that Babylon after Ralph saw it, is gonna be very much like that. It's just sitting here looking at each other for about 10 minutes talking about how awesome the movie was without saying anything. I think we would have to do that because I don't want to. Like, something coming out this hyped and it's going to be this big, you don't want to ruin anything for anybody. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll wait a week on it. But, like, after a week, fuck you. You should have seen it by now. If you're listening to us, you're a big enough nerd to where you probably should have seen Avengers by now. So I'll give you a week. I'll give you an extra week. After that, I'm going to let loose with it. Also wanted to talk. We've got Dragon Con 122 days away, and for those of you who don't know, that's like the big East Coast comic book convention. So it's basically it's about very nice. It's about as big as it gets over on the East Coast. So we went last year. We only went for 1 day and just kind of dawdled around for a little bit. We've got our 4-day passes this year. We've got a handful of our listeners are going to be coming too, man. And I'm thinking what we should do is maybe after a few days at the con, have everybody meet up either at either at your house or at my hotel room, whatever it is we're going to do, and then we'll just kind of sit around with everybody and do like a big roundtable discussion, and we'll record it, and it'll be like kind of a special Nerdtopia cast. That would be awesome. I will. I may or may not have access to a boat that weekend, so we might even be able to do a quick a lake party at some point, either before or after, if it doesn't interfere with the con, and sit around and do that. So we'll figure something out. We'll do something fun. Maybe I'll just take a couple days off work. We'll make like a 5-6 day, or make like a week out of it or something like that. So after the con, we can kind of come back and have some downtime, maybe chill on the boat if possible. But
But we're going into like personal stuff, and people listening don't want to hear that. I get kind of caught up in that every now and again. So, Steve has, I guess, discovered soundbites that he's going to be hitting me with unexpectedly for the rest of this podcast today. All right, man. Well, it takes us like 15 minutes to get into it, so let's go ahead and jump in. Nerdtopian news, man. Top the headlines this week. Bad news for Peter Jackson, man. I don't know if you read about this or not, but he debuted 10 minutes of his film, The Hobbit, at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. It was not well received.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, and I guess the problem had to do with the fact that he's filming it in 3D, because obviously you can't make a fucking movie anymore if it's not in 3D.
Right.
But he's using 48 frames per second. Now, I know very little about technical aspects of filmmaking, but I understand that it is twice the standard frame rate.
Okay.
You'd think that would be good. He's using more. There's going to be more clarity in the film, but no, there was a lot of bitching being done. A couple of people were talking. First of all, somebody at a website called Film Drunk said everybody hated it, and I'm quoting him there. First of all, Film Drunk? Fuck you. That's the name of your website. Kiss my ass. And then there was Devin Ferrassi of Badass Digest. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a step back. Yeah. First of all, Devin Ferrassi, number one, dude already sounds like a douchebag. And then you write for Badass Digest. Oh, I'm sorry, was Radical Dudes Weekly already taken?
Yeah, it's it's like Badass Digest is a step below the Hard Motherfucker Chronicle, it's like Grizzled Biker Weekly, First of all, no badass reads digests. Like, if they're gonna read something, it's gonna be like fucking news. Like, it's not badass. That already I discount whatever he has to say.
It's Vin Diesel on the writer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Vin Diesel.
We're on to you, Vin Diesel, aka Devin Ferrassi.
Yeah.
Anyways, he said something negative. I was going to quote him, but no, who gives a fuck what he thinks?
Yeah.
But then again, some people threw some positive responses out there, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see for ourselves, man. I'm pretty excited about it. I know my wife's pretty psyched about it.
Is that is like the biggest complaint, like the way the movie's shot, like the frame rate and stuff? Or are they like
right? They're not big in the frame rate. They don't like how the movie's shot. That's what they're whining and bitching about.
That's their only complaint.
That takes a back seat to the story itself.
Yeah.
So bad press for The Hobbit, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, after you can't, you got to give that guy a shot with the movie, because he did such an epic job with the first three. So, I'm not that worried about it. It'll come out fine. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. NerdsRaging.com reported that the setting has been revealed for the Wolverine movie. We're going back to Japan, so I don't know if you remember reading in the Wolverine series, particularly the run written by Frank Miller and Chris Claremont, where he's basically wandering the countryside.
Yeah.
So we've got Hugh Jackman, and he's going to be in Japan, and he's likely going to be fighting ninjas and shit. So you've got Wolverine and ninjas. How can you go wrong?
I don't think you can with Wolverine and ninjas. You throw ninjas in, and ninjas make everything better. So,
Fox CEO Tim Rothman stated that Wolverine will be a quote true berserker badass in this film. So, there's that.
And I'm gonna get kind of screamed at for saying this, but Hugh Jackman to me, they could have picked a better Wolverine.
I agree, dude. I agree with you. He did a good job. Don't get me wrong. He did a good job, but physically speaking, he does not fit the character. He's tall and he's thin, and I always saw Wolverine as kind of like a short, very muscular dude.
Yeah. But he doesn't
he does a good job. I just would have liked to see somebody else.
I just don't see him. I don't see him. I don't buy the rage, I guess. You know? I don't buy that. I can't see Hugh Jackman, like not getting his soda in time at a restaurant and flipping out on the waiter, you know. He'd say something very nice and polite and be, "Oh, I'm Hugh Jackman, blah blah blah, Australian accent. Here's a $200 tip." You know, I want like a grizzled like messed up I want bear people to play Wolverine. I want like hair and meat and claws, and that's it, you know?
Right. Oh man. Well, we're gonna need to take a moment of silence here. Not really, but we'll say metaphorical silence for the late great Boba Fett, sir. Thank you. Boba Fett has been killed in the Star Wars universe. A Dark Horse series called Blood Ties has finally killed off Boba Fett. So I guess he crawled his way out of the Sarlacc pit and after that got shot in the face by his enemies. So,
well,
no word on if he'll be back or not, but they've gotten rid of Boba Fett. He's no more.
Well, that's who they use for the basis of the clone, right? No, they use Django. Django's the base. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So there is no... Well, I mean, it stands to reason that maybe, like when the kid was sleeping, somebody, plucked a hair or something. There could be, like, Boba clones out there. Like, no one ever dies in comic books. Huh?
All of the clone troopers were essentially Boba clones.
Right, because Boba was a clone of Django, right?
Right.
Wasn't an actual kid. It was him. It was a clone. So all the stormtroopers are Django.
Right, exactly.
Which are Boba.
So I imagine they'll bring back another clone with the same name, or they'll say that this clone was actually a decoy for Boba Fett, or something to that effect. But it's a comic book. People don't stay dead in comic books.
No. Yeah.
Oh, I've got some. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Do you know if Johnny Storm is still dead?
I don't know. I think he's back, but I'm not certain. I haven't followed that storyline.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool. They've got a screenwriter named David James Kelly. I'm not really familiar with his work. I looked him up on IMDb. There wasn't really anything on there. But he's being tapped to pen the Daredevil reboot. So they're rebooting Daredevil.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew this. And they're going to follow the Born Again timeline.
Oh, okay. Good.
Did you read Born Again?
Yeah, that's a good series.
It's actually a shame that they're not doing it as a sequel. They're doing it as a reboot instead, because that would have been a great sequel for the first Daredevil movie.
I didn't hate the first Daredevil.
I didn't either. There's a lot of people that hated it. As a matter of fact, in the Nerdtopia Weekly poll, somebody said they hated Daredevil. We'll get to that, but I didn't think it was that bad. A lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I thought maybe Affleck wasn't a great cast, and I get that. But it's still like the story was okay, the action was good, and I like the fact that it was they played him a lot different different than they were at that point, where they were just kind of all the hero movies that they'd done were very vivid and colorful, and they started kind of exploring going darker with that one, which I thought was cool.
Which Daredevil should be.
Yeah.
He's like the Marvel Comics Batman.
Exactly. That's but if they do this right, maybe they'll give that to Nolan. Give Nolan something to do. That would be badass, wouldn't it? Like they go from Nolan Batman to Nolan Daredevil. Like how he would kill that series. That would be awesome.
Yeah. And for those of you who have never read The Born Again, I did read it. I'm pretty sure Frank Miller wrote it. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's him though. And essentially, he has a girlfriend. Matt Murdock has a girlfriend at some point in the comic book series, and she goes off to Hollywood to pursue an acting career, and she fails, and she ends up falling into porn, and she gets this heroin addiction, and she comes back to Hell's Kitchen, and she's all strung out on heroin, and she sells the identity of Matt Murdock. She sells it for one single hit of heroin, basically. And it works its way up, and it gets to the Kingpin. The Kingpin finds out who he is, which if you remember at the end of the last Daredevil movie, Kingpin found out who Matt Murdock was, so you wouldn't need all of that initial storyline in there.
Right.
But then Wilson Fisk just starts systematically ruining Matt Murdock's life until he has nothing and has to crawl back from the ashes, essentially, which is the title Born Again.
Right.
So it's a badass storyline. If you've never read it, do yourself a favor and pick it up. However, I will say this. If they don't change the ending to it, I'll be a little disappointed. I won't ruin it for anybody, but I'll just say that I don't really feel like they knew where they were going at the end of that. Like, the end of the comic book was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But even so, the ride getting there was an amazing ride. Read it, do yourself a favor, Daredevil Born Again, and that's going to be the basis for the new movie.
Yeah, that's exciting. I will continue to watch these superhero movies just so long as they do like interesting and unique things. Like, I don't think anybody wants to see another, like the new Spider-Man that's coming out. Like, it may be decent if they do something different with it than Sam Raimi did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If you change these things, at least, don't show us a movie that we saw, 10 years ago. Show us something different and better and with a different taste to it. So, yeah, I think if they do something different, it might be worth a watch.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of cool for science fiction nerds, man. The Sci-Fi Channel rolled out its concepts for new original series that we can look forward to. Some of them are in pre-production. Some of them are still kind of in the concept phases. I took a few of them that really interested me because there was a bunch of them. We've got some cool sci-fi series on the horizon, man. I'm kind of excited about this. The first one is called Defiance, and it is actually based on an online. It's based on an MMO, and it's a post-apocalypse drama. It's set on Earth after a human-alien war. And it's kind of like a new Old West style story.
Huh.
So it's like a post-apocalypse Old West type show, but with aliens. That's what you're looking at. And here's the cool thing. I've never played the game, but apparently the game and the show will kind of interact with one another. So basically, they change something on the game server, they'll write it into the show. Something happens in the show, they'll put it on the game server, and vice versa.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Any kind of interactivity, I think. All these television and film and stuff. Like, I like the fact that now they're starting to branch out and become more interactive, because that's going to be the next level of media. That's awesome. That makes me actually want to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, Sci-Fi does some pretty good stuff, man. Here's another one, Rewind, and it's about an anti-terrorist unit. So right there you have 24 basically.
Right.
So it's like 24. You have an anti-terrorist unit, but they're using experimental time travel technology to go back in time to stop terrorist attacks that have already happened. So you've got 24 back in time basically is the concept for this show.
Did you see that link? I think Chuck put it up about that Seattle attorney who claims that he traveled through time to the night that Abraham Lincoln died.
I did. I didn't read it. I didn't really sit down and give it a read. Was it interesting?
It's a 30-minute video. When you hear about that, you expect some dude with some big beard and like a trench coat, babbling to himself in the corner. I mean, this guy he's a polished looking dude. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. He's citing references and people, and seems to be very clear-headed about it, and is talking about how he was basically, and he's an attorney. Like, he's an attorney out of Seattle who does environmental law, and talks about how he was involved with a time traveling program as a child, a government time traveling program as a child, and then we have this technology based on secret. Like found documents that Nikola Tesla was doing. So they're basically I don't want to give away the entire video, but they're booms, and you go through it, and it can port you, like, it takes you through a wormhole and takes you to another place in time. It was just kind of interesting to listen to the guy talk, because he's very, very believable. But I mean, the content isn't that believable, but. It's pretty believable to hear him talk. It's just interesting stuff.
Okay, right on, man. I'll check it out. Yeah, I can understand the skeptical side when it comes to that, but I don't discount anything, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you would think that we would have some evidence or, some sort of you couldn't keep. One of the points that they make in the video one of the counterpoints I saw is you can't keep a secret between two people, much less, the hundreds it would take to be involved in a program like this. So that one dude is out there saying it makes you automatically skeptical, but at the very least, it's an interesting work of fiction that he came up with.
Cool. I liked it, man. So yeah, on the time travel thing, that's Rewind. That's what we're looking at for that show concept. Defender, which it's a futuristic in the aftermath of an intergalactic war between humans and transhumans, former enemies. So I guess the former side, so humans, and then just as transhumans. I don't know if they're aliens or not, but they're placed together on a starship and have to learn to become a team, and the universe is somehow at stake. So that sounds like fun. They're making a TV series called The Adjustment Bureau, which is based on the Matt Damon movie.
Right.
There's one I got kind of excited about, man. Booster Gold.
Oh my God, a TV series?
Yeah. Sci-Fi Channel is working on developing a Booster Gold TV series. For those of you who don't know, Booster Gold is kind of like one of the third-string DC superheroes. He spent some time in the Justice League, and his story was he was a washed-up athlete in the far future. So his career was essentially over, but he travels to the past, which is our present day, in hopes of becoming a superhero. So it's basically just to jump back into the limelight using this technology, but then he realizes that becoming a superhero wasn't quite as easy as he'd hoped. So, so we're looking at the possibility of a Booster Gold TV series, and I've been saying for years, I don't get me wrong, I love, the big guys. I love Batman, I love Superman, I love Spider-Man, the Avengers, but I would like to see some of the second stringers and the third stringers. I'd like to see them get some of their time in the limelight. So hopefully if they get the show off the ground, it'll do well, man. I'll support it.
That kind of amazes me that they're going to make a show out of Booster Gold. I mean, I guess there are other characters I would have liked to see one of the characters I think that they could have done a hell of a spin-off series is Cable. If they did a Cable series. Yeah, imagine James Cameron doing fucking Cable. I mean, that would be badass, but I'll watch it, but I think if they make it funny, because Booster Gold has a very, very campy kind of sense of humor. So if they do it kind of as a sci-fi comedy, that would be good. That's
kind of how they portrayed him in the last season of Smallville. You had Booster Gold came in the last season of Smallville for an episode, and he was very campy and corny like that, and they did it well. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear NBC is coming out with a new series called The Word?
Okay.
Have you heard about this? Oh no, man, you haven't heard about it? I thought everybody did.
Oh God.
Dylan, everybody knows about the bird.
I fucking hate you. God, I fucking hate you. I walked right in. God, I walked into it.
I know. That's all right.
God, Peter, are you all right?
I'm better.
How long were you sitting there with your finger at the butt?
Oh, that was about a good 17-minute wait, actually.
God. How are we doing on time, man?
Oh, we are at the half-hour mark, halfway.
Okay, cool, good stuff. All right, moving on. We've got Eyes of the Dragon is another potential series that the Sci-Fi Channel might roll out. I've never read it, but apparently it's based on a Stephen King novel, and it's sort of like a fantasy realm, political intrigue, kind of like Game of Thrones, but maybe with a little bit more fantasy and magic mixed into the plot, which I would check it out. I would watch it, but at this point, I think Game of Thrones kind of has the market cornered on that, and I would not try to roll something else out.
Yeah. What network did you say is coming on?
These are all Sci-Fi Channel originals.
Oh, yeah, less boobs. I wouldn't watch it. The boobs make the show.
There's plenty of boobs on this show.
We need some more boobs.
And then finally, 1 Mile Straight Down is another show that they're working on developing. And what happens, the premise for this show is there's a giant earthquake, and it opens up the Earth's crust. And scientists discover that there's an ocean beneath the Earth's crust, and a nuclear submarine is sent down to explore, and it's about that exploration team and what they discover down there. So it's sort of kind of like a spin-off. It's reminiscent of Journey to the Center of the Earth. Basically.
Okay, that sounds cool. That actually I would probably definitely check out.
I would check it out.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, but sci-fi does some cool original stuff, man. A couple years ago they did Tin Man, which was like a sci-fi take on The Wizard of Oz, which I thought was amazing. And then they did Neverland, which was a sci-fi take on the Peter Pan series. It was like a prequel to Peter Pan, and I really liked that too. So they can put out their stuff's kind of hit or miss, but they have the potential to put out some really good stuff. So I'm hoping that at least a few of these series catch on.
My recollection of the Sci-Fi Channel when I was a kid was like my dad watching those crazy Anaconda 2, Return of the Anaconda kind of movies, and it's like right. To me, like I can't get into those. Like I was a big Tales from the Crypt and Outer Limits fan. I'll watch those till the end of time, but the other ones, the kind of campy stuff, I can't get into, man.
I don't blame you, man. Some of that stuff was hit or miss for me. Like I enjoyed Tales from the Crypt when I was younger. Outer Limits, take it or leave it. Man, those are the new shows we're looking at for the Sci-Fi Channel. Ghostbusters 3, probably not going to happen.
Really? Who's balking on it? Is it Bill Murray?
Yeah, it's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray said that he's not going to do the movie. Actually, Dan Aykroyd reported that Bill Murray said that he won't do the movie. It's like a game of telephone. Dan Aykroyd said that Bill Murray said that.
Well, I mean, he probably honestly isn't the only. He's probably the only one who doesn't need the check. No, Harold Ramis is working pretty consistently, I think, still. But yeah. But he probably doesn't need the check, and I mean, he's notorious for being like I read somewhere that people email. He doesn't have an agent. People email him scripts into an email box that he never checks, and all that other kind of stuff. It's real kind of off-putting kind of dude to work with, from what I hear.
Actually, you know what his go-to move is, and I've heard it. I've read articles on the internet. People report that he does this. One of my buddies who lives in Virginia said that he's gone around town doing this. But like one of his favorite go-to moves is like he will just randomly show up at just some bar or local watering hole, basically, where people are hanging out, or he'll crash a party or something like that, and he'll go up behind people and like put his hands over people he doesn't know. He'll put his hands over their face, kind of like a Guess Who sort of thing, and he'll lean over and he'll whisper at them, "Your friends are never going to believe you."
That's awesome.
And they just turn around and walk away.
I do the same thing. It just doesn't go over near as well.
You're like, what the?
Who is that guy? I think he has a show on the internet.
Yeah, we have 52 people. No, but it's probably not going to happen. Ivan Reitman still wants to do it. If you guys don't know, Ivan Reitman wants to do the directed Ghostbusters. He still wants to come back in and do Ghostbusters 3. Everybody else is on board with it, but Bill Murray's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go play golf. Sorry.
Well, I mean, once you hit a certain level, it's like I respect that more than I respect a guy like, Chevy Chase. Chevy is notoriously difficult to work with, but like he still tries to claim on to this kind of like, I'm Chevy Chase and everybody, and no one as good as me. I'm a huge Chevy Chase fan. I loved the Vacation movies and everything he did on SNL. But right. Like you can't go out there and still try to claim all this stuff and then just be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna throw the people a bone. You know what I'm saying? At least Murray. Right. Murray may be weird and kind of difficult to work with, but like at least he's still very much like embraces his fans,
Right. Well, So they've said that if they can write a script and do it without Bill Murray, they're going to give it a shot. But I'm not seeing Ghostbusters without Peter Venkman in it, dude. You can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think they should. That yeah. Well, I could see them like not replacing him necessarily, but maybe putting like his kid in there or something like that. But they shouldn't. They really shouldn't do that.
I agree. We've got a release date for Halo 4.
The game?
Yeah.
I was about to say, is it like Halo 4 the movie? You can't,
No, they haven't even made a movie.
Yeah,
But there will be a web series. There will be a live-action Halo web series coming out this fall.
Huh.
It's going to be called Halo 4, Forward Unto Dawn. There's going to be it's going to be a 5-parter, and each part is going to be 15 minutes. The story is going to focus, it's not going to focus around Master Chief. Master Chief is going to kind of take a backseat to the story. But the story itself is going to focus on a young cadet who is inspired by Master Chief, who goes on to lead the UNSC Infinity spacecraft. So it ties into the Halo 4 storyline, but also works as a standalone storyline. So I think they're kind of hoping to snag some more Halo fans with this viral campaign they're going to be doing.
That's pretty cool. I'm not a huge Halo guy. Like, I played it when it first came out. I was into it, but it's not really my thing. But people, anything to get people excited about stuff nowadays, I'll take, man. I'll check it out.
If for nothing else, even if you don't play the games, read the stories that the games tell. Honestly, they're amazing sci-fi tales. I mean, you know me, dude. I care nothing for first-person shooters.
Right.
They pull the hell out of me. And I found myself, I played all the way through Halo 1, 2, and 3 just because of the storyline.
Really? The storyline's that good?
Yeah, the storyline is that good. Like, the gameplay's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But as far as a first-person shooter game goes, that I found myself playing through it just to get to the next cutscene so that I could see, like, what happens in the story.
Yeah.
So it tells an amazing tale, dude. They've got good writers on that project.
I was the same way with the Modern Warfare games. I'm playing 3 right now. I borrowed it from a buddy, and the I'm not big into first-person shooters, but the storyline was so good that you play it to get through the storyline. So I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, and there's also a series of books. I read one of them, which was pretty good. It was called Ghost of Onyx.
Yeah.
And I think there's 3 or 4 in that series, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Well, I don't read. It poisons the mind.
Sorry.
That's okay.
New Prometheus trailer was released on the internet this week. Went up on YouTube. It was about 3.5 minutes long. Now, right now, I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm not sure. I've heard disputing arguments over it. Some people said that it's the prequel to Alien. Some people said that it's not. Whatever the case may be, man, I watched this 3.5 minute trailer and I got chills from it, dude.
Really?
It's like a badass sci-fi horror film, like harkening back to the original Alien film.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just roll little clips from that one that was released this week. If you're into it, go check out the trailer, the full trailer. I got chills, dude. It was pretty badass. Go ahead and roll it.
If you're going down there, you're going to die. Changing. Changing into what? What is that?
There's a ship. They're leaving.
To go where?
Earth.
We were so wrong. Take us home! If we don't stop it, there won't be any home to go back to.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you watch
all right.
that?
Yeah. You had me at Charlize Theron, man. That's enough. That's enough to watch anything. But
right.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Especially with her. I don't think that's a theater movie for me, but I will catch it on the DVD. I'll Blu-ray it.
Well, plus it's got Michael Fassbender. It's got Magneto. You can't argue with him.
Oh, I didn't even see him. Magneto's in that too?
Yeah, Mike. Did you not see Michael Fassbender?
No. I didn't pay any. I guess. Yeah, I didn't notice he was in it. Okay, all right, fair enough. I like him.
Yeah, he's good. It's good stuff. All right, man. Well, that's it for the news. Let's go ahead and move on to the Nerdtopian Weekly poll. This week I posed the question: what is the worst comic book movie ever made? And man, you guys fell upon that thread like a pack of locusts, man. Ask any fanboy, like, hey, what's the worst comic book movie ever made? And they've got very strong opinions that support their claims, man.
Yeah, I purposely did not comment on this on the thread so I can have my time to say it.
Didn't want to join the feeding frenzy.
No, I wanted to have my own time for this. So yeah.
All right, so we'll go from least. I don't remember which one you voted on, but we'll get there. We'll go from least amount of votes to most. All right, and so with one tied at one vote, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 movies that were kind of given an honorable mention, and they were Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember watching that, like in 1996, 97, something like that.
Never seen it. Has Hasselhoff, so automatically, like, you know it's going to be crap. But I think that might make it campy enough to semi-enjoy it. I don't know.
I don't even think it should count. It was just it was a little made-for-TV movie that Fox put on the air.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it and I was entertained, and it wasn't. I don't know. I don't think it was the worst ever made for what it was. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
No, I mean, not.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, not great by any means, but no, I don't see it up there with like the elite terrible movies.
I agree. Punisher Warzone.
I like that movie.
I didn't care for it.
That's the one with Thomas Jane, right?
No. Punisher Warzone was the second one that they did with different actor. I can't remember the dude's name off the top of my head. Didn't have a lot of names in it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Then I wouldn't be able to. That other Punisher movie I dug. I haven't seen this one though.
It really always kind of bothered me with the Punisher in Marvel Comics because he's in a world of superheroes, but when you put him in a comic book or even in a movie, he's not a superhero in the slightest. He's an action star.
Right.
Or, it's an action movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's an action vigilante movie. He's out for revenge. There's nothing really noble about him. I never really cared for the character myself. But yeah, Punisher Warzone got an honorable mention with 1. It's not really worth watching. And then somebody said Daredevil. And we talked about this a little while ago. Like, yeah. I kind of dug Daredevil. I'm not going to say anything bad against it.
It's not in the upper echelon, but it's I could see why people would have a problem. It was very Hollywood and and big for the sake of being big. But overall, I mean, it was something. It was something to watch that summer, and if I remember correctly, that summer wasn't like laden with great movies. So,
agreed. Now we're moving on to 2 votes. These are movies that more than one person thought that they were pieces of shit. We got Tank Girl. I thought.
Yeah, I've not seen it either. I know it's got kind of a cult following, but never seen it.
Probably, I take it it's one of those things you either like it or you hate it.
Yeah,
and 2 people hated it. Howard the Duck.
You can't hate Howard the Duck.
I can't even remember that movie, man. It's been so long ago since I've watched that. I've just kind of logged it in the back of my mind somewhere.
It's got
nothing really to say about it.
It's got Leah Thompson and the child molesting dude from Ferris Bueller.
He's not a child molester.
No, he is. There was a story that came out that he was a child molester. Yeah.
No.
Yes. Really? Yes. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
No. What the actor? I don't remember the actor's name, but he's that dude that was like he's been in everything, but you can never remember.
Yes.
He was in Ferris Bueller. He was in Howard the Duck. He was in Mom and Dad Save the World.
Yes. Stay tuned. Remember?
Stay tuned.
Exorcise the demons. Movie. That fucker's a child molester. It's on the internet, I swear. It's like his name's like Jeffrey something or other. Oh, I heard it, and it's kind of like, that fucking sucks because he's I thought he was a funny dude, but he's bad news, man.
All right, fair enough. Tank Girl, Howard the Duck, and 3 votes, Elektra. That piece of shit film. That wasn't even watchable, man.
I honestly don't remember whether or not I watched it. I might have.
the only redeeming factor, and it's a small one. It's not a redeeming factor. It's just something pleasant in the movie. Is they threw Jennifer Garner in kind of like the tight red leather suit, and she was very nice to look at, but not for 2 hours, and not for the cheesy bullshit they put in that film. There was nothing good in it. Nothing worth watching.
Yeah.
And then we jump from 3 votes to 7 votes with Catwoman at number 7. Now, this one was my vote, man. Like, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
They took everything about the mythology of Catwoman and they just took it out. They just took the name and created their own fucking action movie without any respect to the source material that they were working on.
Yeah. I'm gonna claim amnesty again because I didn't see this, but I didn't see it because I knew it was gonna be that terrible. So
I did watch it. I tried to give it a fair shot. Like it was in like the $5 bin at Walmart, and Jen picked it up, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to buy that for $5?" She's like, "Yeah, it's only $5. Like I want to see it." I said, "Okay." So we got home, we watched it, and I was like, "Wow, this movie is a piece of shit."
You could have adopted a Nigerian kid for $5, and instead you spent it on that piece of crap.
Damn it.
Just as a quick aside, the actor's name is Jeffrey Jones, and he pleaded no contest in 2003 in Los Angeles to a felony charge of employing a 14-year-old boy to pose for sexually explicit photos.
Girl.
Yeah. That is from the Huffington Post. So, yeah.
So when you plead no contest, it's like
my bad.
You're saying like what evidence do you have? Oh, okay. You know what? Let's just
like, oh, that's good.
You got me.
Yeah, you got me. I had this whole elaborate scheme of fuck that. You clearly have me red-handed. My bad.
8 votes. Actually, we're tied in first place, man. We've got 2 first place winners this week. 8 votes with Ang Lee's The Hulk. Mutant poodles, man. Mutant poodles. Mutant poodles. What kind of enemy can we give the Hulk to fight? We'll give them mutant poodles. Fuck that movie.
That movie came out.
Everything about that movie.
I remember that when that movie came out, because I think you and I were living together at the time, and we were absolutely stoked to go see that movie. Like, oh my God, finally, a Hulk movie. Like, this is going to be awesome. He's going to be ripping cars apart and shit. And I remember, I don't think we said a word to each other for about an hour and a half after the movie. We just kind of
awkward silence.
like what the why was it bad, Doolin? Why did it have to be so bad?
Probably did wake you up in the middle of the night. Tell me that didn't happen.
No, it did. I seriously, we were despondent for like 8 hours because we had Dungeons. I remember we were playing D&D after that,
yes.
And we went over to go play, and we were also, I think, we hit the gym before, so we're all 4 of us or 3 of us were sitting in the sauna talking. We just weren't talking. It's like, what's wrong? We just saw the Hulk. Oh, was it good? No, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Show me on the doll where the Hulk touched you. Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. So, yeah, and it's really such a shame, too, because they had such a dynamite cast in that movie. Like, I was so excited for the lineup. And to the actors' credit, man, good performances in the movie, except for maybe Nick Nolte. I don't know, like, if Nick Nolte had something stuck in his throat the entire time while he was filming that movie, or what, but I don't understand why he has to talk that way. But aside from that, great performances in the movie. It was just written very fucking poorly.
Yeah, and Ang Lee was coming into that thing with a lot of heat, so everybody was really hyped up about it, and it was just, oh my God, it was terrible. What a bad fucking movie. That was my vote.
Yeah, well, it would be a close second to mine. And then, of course, as we know, the most universally despised comic book movie of all time, Batman and Robin. We'll have to spend a second tearing this movie apart.
Okay, but before we start tearing apart,
sure,
you know that I have a giant man crush on George Clooney.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think
that wasn't his fault.
No. But here's another reason why to like George Clooney, because he's come out and he said, "Look, that movie was crap. Blame me if you want." And no one else has had the nards to do that. And it's like, that movie was terrible, but it could have been. You can't say Clooney was a bad Batman. He just had the worst Batman movie.
I felt that he was a good Bruce Wayne, actually, to be honest with you. I'll sing a praise to George Clooney, man. He was a good Bruce Wayne. He was working with a shitty script. He was working with a shitty producer, who I guess tried to make Batman into a live-action cartoon.
Yeah.
They went back to the fucking 1960s Adam West Batman, dude, and which would be fine if that's what they had set up beforehand. But if you go back to 1989's Tim Burton's Keaton Batman and saw how dark and gritty it was for then, and then jump forward to what movie or what year was that? I think 97 when the next one, or when Batman and Robin came out.
Something like that, yeah.
Are these movies even in the same franchise?
No.
What the fuck happened, dude?
It would have been nice to have some notice, I think. Be like, look, guys, we're gonna kind of fuck with the establishment a little bit. Just want to let you know that going in, so don't expect what you've seen. This is gonna be a little different. If they would have given you a go-ahead, you would have at least lubed up before you went and watched the movie. You know what I'm saying? They not giving any sort of heads up that this is gonna be different kind of pissed me off.
You know what I think would have been the saving grace for Batman and Robin? You could have saved it with one very simple thing.
Boobs?
No, not the boobs. No amount of boobs would have saved that movie.
That's true.
No, you edit in the how, damn,
yeah, fair enough.
You can edit that in and then have a cameo by Adam West.
Yeah.
At that point, at least I could have gotten high and laughed at it.
Yeah. At least, but it does. Nowhere near comes to justifying the hundreds of millions of dollars they probably spent on that film.
Yeah, I agree. So that's Nerdtopian Weekly Poll, man. Last week we touched a little bit about the 1997 Justice League TV series that was never made.
Yes.
So I was so tickled by that. We watched that clip where it was they're like, well, I guess we saved the day. How you doing, Flash? And he looks back at him and says, well, I can't find a job. I'm getting kicked out of my apartment. And then there's this awkward silence.
It's nobody takes the Flash in.
Yeah, nobody's got a couch for the Flash, man. Hey, we're in a superhero league together. We fight evil, but no, man, you're on your own, man.
Barry's staying at the shelter tonight.
Yeah. So I was so tickled by that. I took it upon myself this week to look into the worst TV superhero series of all time. Since we did the worst movies of all time, I said let's look into the worst superhero TV series of all time. So I've got the top 5 here, and from I don't remember the name of the website. You know what I'll do? I'll look it up and I'll put it up on the NerdtopiaCast page. Because I feel like I should credit them because I'm pulling from their website.
Sure.
But anyway, top 5 worst of all time. Number 1, Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. This aired on ABC from 1976 to 1977. Dude, I pulled it up online, the opening credit sequence.
Yeah?
Bad.
Really?
It's laughable bad, but it's fucking bad. I guess they were trying to chime in on the success of maybe Charlie's Angels, but they've got these 2 chicks in these cheap 70s Halloween spandex costumes running around saving. They saved a little girl who was about to fall off of a Ferris wheel and open. It was. And they had villains on the series such as, and I kid you not, Spider Lady and Glitter Rock.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh man, that's yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh, please do. Please do.
It's you don't Like, I can see kind of how that could have been, with Greatest American Hero and $6 Million Man and all that kind of stuff. I can see how that would have been. But, like, the second, the commissioner, whoever calls him to save kittens from a tree, like, you got to check out at that point. It's like, Timmy's stuck in a well, Dyna-Girl. It's like, that's not a job for fucking Dyna-Girl. It's a job for a fireman.
You're doing superhero feats that fire and rescue can do themselves easily.
No, that would have been good. Rescue 911, but with superheroes. That would have been badass show.
Maybe you ought to call Soundwave and Jetstorm, because I think they might be busy handing out.
Yeah. He needs soup!
Oh, man. Number 2, there was a TV series on NBC. It got canceled very quickly. In 1983, it was called Manimal.
Manimal.
That's
okay.
1983. Dr. Jonathan Chase has the power to transform into any animal.
Oh
for his 8-episode run, he pretty much stuck to Hawks and Panthers.
Yeah?
Any animal, and he can transform into any animal, Hawks and Panthers. And then one episode he turned into a snake.
It'd be like fucking fire-breathing unicorn death dragon. Rah.
Right?
Yeah. Fucking Hawks and Panthers.
No, Hawks and Panthers and one time a snake.
Well, I gotta go underwater. I hope I'm a good swimming panther.
Yeah, so it was canceled after like only 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Number 3, we've got Black Scorpion. This debuted on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2001. This is about a superheroine named Darcy Walker, a.k.a. the Black Scorpion, who apparently was a badass hand-to-hand combat expert, but she also had a Scorpion mobile, which was, I guess, just a black car that had a scorpion painted on it, and a ring that shot energy blasts. That was the premise of the show, but if you saw the picture of her, she looked like a fucking dominatrix. Like, she was wearing the whole dominatrix get-up. They realized that they were kind of campy, and they tried not to take themselves too seriously, but ultimately, it just kind of ended up being more stupid than fun. They even tried to have Adam West on it one time, and he got on it, and they got canned after one season.
So Adam West actually did the show?
He did a cameo. He did a cameo spot on one episode.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were trying to do like a throwback to the old '60s Batman.
You know, it's bad when Adam West is like, I think we're gonna have to go in a different direction here, guys, or I can't sign on to it.
Adam West looks at you and says, "Sorry, old chum."
Yeah.
Okay. This one made me giggle because I remember this one from the '90s. Nightman. Night Nightman.
Just a guy at night.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, no. Here's the funny. He was. I remember watching the pilot episode for this back in '97, and they made a lot of shitty things back in '97, didn't they?
Yeah.
So back in '97, the main character was a musician, and he was struck by lightning while playing music in a cable car. You're playing music in a cable car, so naturally, like you do, he got superpowers and attained the mental ability to pick up on the frequency of evil. I am not making this up.
Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Evil.
Hey, there's some evil 2 blocks away, I think.
It'd be funny if you just hear like Michael Bolton. Like, that's the only thing he can pick up on anymore.
So he put together his little superhero suit that let him fly. So the suit let him fly, and he had this one giant red eye. I think it was his left eye, and out of his red eye, he could see in the dark. Only out of one eye, though. So he had like half night vision.
Ooh.
So he had night vision with no depth perception, basically.
Awesome.
And the villain was the evil billionaire Lex Luthor. I mean, Kiernan Keyes. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
Kiernan Keyes, the evil billionaire, and it had terrible special effects, and it lasted 2 seasons.
2 seasons, though. Hey.
It actually ran 2 seasons before it got canned. And then finally, number 5 at the top of the list, Birds of Prey from 2002 to 2003. Did you ever see this show?
No, but it sounds familiar.
Well, it's based on a popular DC comic book of the same name. They took a lot of liberties with it, and they changed a lot of shit. But this was about the time that Smallville had ran one season, and you remember at the time like how big into Smallville everybody was.
Sure.
Like, I was huge into it back then. I was living with you, and like every Tuesday, I'm like, get away from the TV. Get away from Smallville's coming on. Get away. I have to record it. I have to record Smallville. So yeah, that was really big back then. So the WB tried to cash in on it, and so they brought their version of Birds of Prey to it. It was essentially like Batman: The Next Generation.
Huh.
It circled around Oracle, which is Barbara Gordon,
right,
who is confined to a wheelchair, and the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, like the illegitimate child of Batman and Catwoman. Batman had kind of left Gotham City like the years prior to the show starting. Nobody ever knew what became of him.
Right.
And then the daughter of Black Canary, who was also kind of the sidekick on that, but instead of having sonic screaming powers like she did in the comic books, she had telepathy.
Okay.
It was not very well received among the fans, and it got canceled.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, before they could go anywhere with it.
Well, I mean, the concept sounds cool enough, I guess, but I mean, you gotta again, like when you forget about the fan base, you're gonna your project's gonna end up blowing up. So, I could see why it would be tanked.
Yeah, so it went down. And this one was not mentioned, but I'm going to go ahead and give it an honorable mention then, because I was so disappointed in this. The Cape, when that aired the last year, I want to say it was last year.
The Cape?
Yeah, The Cape. Did you watch that one?
No.
Oh, man. The trailer looked amazing, dude. It was about this cop that gets framed for murder, and he goes by the mob. He goes underground, has to leave his family behind. He gets left for dead. So his secret identity, he's dead.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like clear his name so he can basically come back and reveal himself to his family. And he fell in with this man played by Keith David. If you don't know who Keith David is, he's like the black guy that has like the really gruff voice. He did the voice for Goliath in Gargoyles. So that character kind of became his mentor and taught him the ways of superheroing, essentially. And so the premise, it was amazing. And I watched this show. I watched the 2-hour-long pilot episode, and I remember saying, "My God, what a piece of shit!"
Really?
Yeah, it was disappointing. It ran for a season. It had kind of a small, loyal fan base, and unfortunately, like they could not get it renewed.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
All that stuff is so like contingent on the writing that if you like, and people are so fickle. You put out one bad episode and they'll abandon it too. So, a lot of these concepts sound really cool, but you get people who don't know what they're doing writing the show, and it turns out to be crap.
Right. So had high expectations. They let me down, but that's all I got this week, man. What do you got? Anything?
No, man. Just another awesome week. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit more active now that I'm counted amongst the living. So, we'll be back. We'll be back, I'm sure, next week with another show, and just keep looking forward to putting these out, man. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Oh, I wanted to go ahead and address this, man. We hit some snags and technicalities, guys. We, as of right now, cannot email NerdtopiaCast to you, unfortunately, because of data limit restrictions. We're trying to find a way around that right now, but as of right now, we're just on YouTube until we can figure out how we're gonna get the shows to you. Hopefully, the more shows we do, the more people will follow us. The more people follow us, the bigger we get, and maybe we'll be able to do something more with it in the near future. But as of right now, it's free. It's fun for us to do. Hopefully, it's fun for you guys to listen to, and we'll continue putting them out for a long time to come.
All righty, so that's NerdtopiaCast for this week. I'm Steve Wareham.
I'm Dylan Dalton. Take us home, Steve.